Howdy, and welcome to Broken Tool Garage. I bought one of those H-pipe kits off eBay and have a little bit of skepticism here. So what we're dealing with is the DNA motoring right here. It had good reviews, so I felt pretty confident in going ahead and ordering that. So we're going to be checking this out and just seeing what the quality of this is, and then I'm going to be building my H-pipe setup, so I'll show some tips and everything on there to build your own H-pipe and put mufflers to it and all that, and we're going to be doing that on a 70 Dodge truck back here with a 318. Okay, well, let's see what's in the box. Okay, these are all bagged. They do have oil on them, which is good because it's mild steel and you want that shipping oil to keep them from rusting, right? Welds look pretty good on them. Looks like they've been cleaned up, so this is pretty good quality. The thickness, this is 16 gauge, right? Which is plenty to weld with. Now, I have my pipe here. This is a galvanized piece I got from the exhaust shop, and they made me a nice ball socket. I got the ball part of that already on the header, so I'm going to be running off the header with that connection right there to the H-pipe, and then come out of the H-pipe and do my mufflers. So this is a little bit thicker. This is a 14 gauge in there. They're all oily. And I just washed my hands. So a hair thicker, but not that big of a deal. I mean, you got to think about it. The OD stays the same, so the thicker you make this, the ID has to get smaller, right? So yeah, this is a thicker pipe, but the ID is smaller. So you just need it to be thick enough to get the job done. That's it. So given this is mild steel, once I get done with this, which the first thing I need to clean everything real good so I can cut and weld. I went with mild steel because the welder I have is a MIG welder, or technically flux core welder, right? Because I don't have the gas. Because I'll leave the gas on and then I won't be able to weld because I got non-flux core wire. So that's why I used a flux core wire in my MIG welder. Anyways, so that's what I'm going to be using to weld this up. Probably one of the most easier ways to do this. Right now I need to get all this cleaned up real good, get my setup done, mock everything up where I want all of this, start marking things for my widths, and after that I'll cut it and just start welding this up and show you what it looks like when I'm done. Now, I'm not a welder, so don't be judging my welds. It'll stick together, right? The welder is the box. I'm like the person pulling the trigger, right? So that's the idea we're going to be doing with this. Like I said, this is a pretty good looking kit right here. Of course, this piece right here is what goes underneath the drive shaft to get a little bit of room in there. And this is the extension pieces right here that goes out on both sides, which I'll only be using one of these because I have a set of these. That's going to even up my headers, and that'll go into there. By the way, this pipe does fit in here, if I can make a bunch of noise, just fine. So they did the swells fine for its standard pipe size, right? All right, there's our base components. Now the header, as you can see, kind of how I have this laid out. One header comes out a little bit shorter than the other header. So what I'm going to do is take my little extra piece that I have here from laying around. This is the galvanized one, right? So I'm going to put that on the short side. Go ahead and weld my collector on. Weld my collector on there, bolt both of these up, and then wherever that line comes out, I'll cut that one to fit. So then I'll be able to ding, put my H-pipe on, which, you know, these do slide in. I'll go ahead and get the H-pipe on, so that'll set the H-pipe distance, and that'll also make those equal, right? So I'll go ahead and weld those on. Then that sets my width. So I've got my width piece right there that I'll mark, put on there, like unbolt these two, right? And tack it in place once I cut it to the length where I think it should be. And you see this has got a lot of depth right here, so there's a lot of wiggle room. If I get a little bit off, it's okay, you know. But the main thing is when we weld it together, it's got to be pretty close so that whenever those go up there, they actually bolt into the headers and it not doing weird stuff, right? So that's kind of how I'm going to go about that. What I'll probably do is, once I get that kind of close right there, I'll bolt one side in, shove it into one side, bolt that side in, and kind of merge it together and then probably mark it and just get up in underneath there with a welder and tack it right quick. That way I know everything fits right. Then take everything down and come out here and weld it where I got plenty of room, right? And I need to do some blocking and stuff like that to get all this jigged up so it's going to be welded up square. But for illustration purposes, we're just going to leave it like this. All right, finally, we have our extension tube. And the muffler I'm going to be using is it's like the mid muffler on the newer cars. It's like a Charger Challenger. So I'm going to be using one of these as my muffler. And to set that distance, once I have all the H-pipe up there, I have my extension piece right here, right? I'll use that to I'll put the muffler up kind of on a jack stand and set it to kind of where I want it to be. And as you can see, it's an offset muffler. So I can put it that way, or I can put it that way. So it just depends on how it lines up, how that's going to go on, and how far back I want to put it, right? Because what I want to do is have a hanger at the muffler, because the muffler and all of this is going to all be one piece. And then what I want to do is take some of this pipe and have a stub on the end. That way, what can happen there is when the tailpipes go to put on, I can have another like ball and socket set up or something like that. That way the tailpipes can be pulled off and put on without having to cut everything apart, just in case I had to do something. Like the H-pipe, that's a lot of stuff. You got the tailpipes on there, you're not going to get that whole assembly out, right? So you need to have certain segments in there. Okay, there we are. I'm mocked up. So I am not tack welded, but what I did was I measured from the frame here to there, and then come over and did the same thing there to there to make sure it's even. And then I took a measurement from the floor to there. Did that on the other side as well, from a frame to the pipe. That way I'm making sure that it's running parallel to the frame and they're set to the same height. So that's where that's set up right now. So what I really need to do is go in and put a couple tack welds on this, right? Do that in, all 4 places. Then I can take it down, hold together. Then I can take it down, weld it up. Okay, out. Half welded up. I just got to do the other side. Once I do that, I'll go through and clean these welds up, get all that flux off there, grind any stuff down, and then I can kind of check to see of the spots that I missed, because I know I missed some spots, because I'm not a welder. That's a welder. I just pulled the trigger, right? So I'm thinking the stubs that we pulled off, these are the mufflers we're going to use, these little pull-off mufflers, the mid-mufflers from like a Charger Challenger V8. So here's the 2.5, and it fits almost on the inside of that. So that'll be a good weld right there. So I think I'm going to set those up like that with the stubs, and then put the stubs in there, and that should butt up quite nicely. And then what I can do with this pipe is cut it in half and weld it to the other side, and that'll be just kind of my tailpipe per se, right? That'll also give something for the exhaust shop when I go to do tailpipes, something for them to kind of go off of right there. So yeah, coming along good, looks balanced. All right, so down underneath here, I have them bolted on right there, and I got the muffler just kind of slid in where I want them. I think I'm going to run them up like that, right? So there it is. H-pipe is installed, so we're done with that. All right, what'd you think about that right there? I thought the eBay kit turned out pretty good. I mean, I could weld it together and didn't have any issues out of it, so why spend more money for the exact same parts? The truck's not going to know what the brand name on the exhaust pipe is, right? So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. Now, one of the things that I come up with, I got a 3D printer and I'm starting to make parts. You see this custom side marker light for the truck? I'm making some more of those, and I'm going to be putting a set of those up on eBay. I'm also going to have it on printables. If you have a 3D printer, you can, or know someone who has one, you can download all the files and print settings so you can get that silver looking pretty good. This is just straight printed right here. I haven't done anything with it. So these right here, I got a video coming out that shows how to do the lens, how to polish the lens out. I've already got a video on how to do the metallic filament and how to do the translucent for your lenses and everything too, right? So check all that stuff out if you're interested in that, or drop by the eBay Broken Tool Garage, or actually BTG 215 eBay. That's going to be down below as well for different little things like this that I'm putting up there, including I got a nice 302 badge that I'm going to be putting up there as well. So I appreciate you sticking around, and I'll see you next time on Broken Tool Garage.